First, take your paper and fold it in a hot dog fold. And then open it up. Pause to do your work. Next, take your paper and fold it the other way in a hamburger fold. And then open it up. Pause to do your work. Take your pencil and you're going to make 2 vanishing points on this middle crease here. One about an inch from this side. The other one about an inch from this side. And in fact, we can go ahead and draw a line. You don't have to use a ruler for this, but just kind of draw right along that hot dog fold crease. Go ahead and pause. Take your ruler and line it up so that the 0 is at the top of the paper and the 12 is at the bottom of the paper. You're going to make 3 lines. One from the 1 to the 3. One from the 5 to the 7. And one from the 9 to the 11. So the numbers were 1 to 3, 5 to 7, 9 to 11, and that's with your ruler lined up with 0 up to 12. Pause. All right, so now we are going to take these 3 lines and use them as our guide to make 3 separate boxes. And this will be the front corner that's coming towards you for each of those boxes. We need to have some sides coming off of those. So from the top and the bottom of each of these lines, you're going to go to the vanishing point. So top of this line, draw a line to your vanishing point. And from the bottom of this line to your vanishing point. You'll repeat that with the other 2 lines. And if you know what you're doing, go ahead and start working. I'm going to continue to work here. Otherwise, continue to watch. After I'm done, I will give a pause so that if you want to get caught up, you may. That's one side. After you have the 3 on the one side, you're going to repeat this process to the opposite side. From the top of the line to the vanishing point on the left here. And the bottom of the line to the vanishing point on the left. And you're going to repeat that same process with the middle and the bottom lines. And I am finished. If you need a little time, go ahead and pause. All right, for the next step, what we have with our 3 boxes that we've begun is one side that goes on forever this way and another side that goes on forever that way. We need to decide where to end our boxes. We're going to draw a vertical line to mark the edge of that box. And to make a vertical line, you want to make sure that your ruler is as close as you can get it. And I'm checking the distance between the ruler and this other line here. Obviously, this one's wider here and this one's narrower. You don't want that. You want to make sure that when you look at these, it looks like the same distance of space on each one. I'm going to put different widths for each of the boxes to make it more interesting. So there's one, it's going to end there. I'm going to go ahead and make this one a little bit closer. And I might even just put my ruler right on that line on this side and draw it here. And last, I'm going to go ahead and do this one. Always checking to make sure that your ruler is exactly straight up and down as best as you can get it. Okay. We're going to repeat that on this side. And it doesn't matter if they're the same on both sides. If you have this side shorter and this side longer, it's going to look like a rectangular block. Whereas if they're more equal in length, that's going to make it seem more like a square block. So you just decide how you want those. I'm going to probably go about right there for this one. And I think I'm going to make this one pretty skinny. So I'm going to go close in. Always, always make sure your ruler is straight up and down for your vertical lines. And I'm going to make this one wide again for the bottom one. For some reason, I just feel like doing it that way. And then after you've got your lines drawn, you can go ahead, well, I'll just pause here. Go ahead and pause, finish drawing those, and then we'll come back to erase the extra. Okay, so we've drawn the lines to mark where each of our boxes is going to stop. What we need to do next then is get rid of the extra bits of line that comes off each side. I'm going to go ahead and do the erasing on mine. You can go ahead and do the erasing on yours. And I'll give a pause once I'm finished. In case you're not quite done yet then. But maybe you'll finish before me. Who knows? If you accidentally erased some of your horizon line when you erased those, go ahead and redraw it in there. And I'm going to go ahead and erase on this side here. So again, on this side, I did end up erasing some of my horizon line, so I'm going to redraw that. I accidentally erased some of my boxes, so I'm just going to sketch those back in. If this were an actual project instead of just an instructional practice, I might use a ruler, but it's just a practice, so that's all right. Right here I have my horizon line running right through this middle box, and if it were made of glass or fish tank material or something, plexiglass maybe, you would be able to see it, but I'm going to pretend mine's made out of some sort of more solid, opaque type material such that you wouldn't be able to see through it, which would mean I would need to erase this horizon line that's showing through. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pause. You work, and we'll see you in a minute. All right, next, you can start to see now what we have is this higher box way up in the air, a lower box down here, and one in the middle. But on the upper box and the lower one, you can sense that there should be a face to the block here and a face there. I mean like a surface, but it's not drawn in yet. We need to locate where that should go. In order to locate where this side of this box should be, you'd go from this corner here to the opposite side vanishing point. I'll show you. And you don't really need to draw all the way because we know the bottom of this box isn't going to be way out here. It's going to be underneath here. So this is more than plenty of line. To get the other side, you go from this corner off to this vanishing point. And I've got some extra here. You can go ahead and erase that. And we'll go ahead and pause and come back to do the next one in a minute. Okay, so we're going to put the bottom, or put the top on the bottom box. That sounds funny to say. We're going to put this top face on this lower box. So we're going to go from this side here, right at this corner, off to that vanishing point. Line up our ruler. And bring it across that way. I don't need to go all the way because I know the top of this box isn't going to be way over here. That just wouldn't make any sense. And we'll go right here. There you go. Now, if you had made the sides of your boxes a whole lot longer, there's a chance that the faces of the top and bottom of these boxes might end up overlapping with your center box. If that's the case, remember that we want to keep the center box looking like it's made out of solid opaque material. So if the face of your lower box or even your upper one overlap with that, after you find the corner and know you've got it located, you can erase out the part that's behind that middle box. I have a little extra right here. I'm going to go ahead and cut that off with the eraser. And then we will just pause for a minute for you to do yours. Now that we have this, we can see this is the horizon line. Everything up here in this section is meant to be sky area, and this is meant to be ground area below the horizon line. And since this is above our eye level, remember the horizon line always represents the viewer's eye level. Since it's above the viewer's eye level, we can see the bottom of it. This one, since it's below the eye level, we can see the top of it. But it's fun to imagine, like, if this were part of some sort of an obstacle course, perhaps, where this piece and this piece were going whoosh, whoosh, and smooshing stuff. You could maybe draw a ladder or something right here have a guy maybe climbing up the ladder. Maybe his dog somehow got up here and he has to go rescue his dog. Hey, buddy, let me get your dog up here. This is really bad dog drawing, but here's his nose and his ear. Okay, give him a little spot and an eyeball. He's like, hey, dog, get out of there. And maybe there's some sort of a contraption here with a long Tarzan chain on it, and there's a guy, and he's going to go over here, and he's going to swing across and rescue the dog. I don't know. But the cool thing with 2-point perspective is that you can really start to create a land where you can go kind of crazy with creativity and just imagine all sorts of adventures that your characters could have within the land that you create. Good job on this. We will be going on to the second side in just a moment.